Megalopolis is the new movie by Francis Ford Coppola. It's a 2024 epic adventure, romance, science fiction, drama movie. It's really a lot of genres in one. This was self-financed by Francis Ford Coppola, who put 120 million of his own dollars into this movie, and he's only going to get 5 million back. It's not really looking to do so well. It's a vanity project. It's a passion project. Francis Ford Coppola is one of the greatest directors of all time. There's no argument about that. He's won 6 Oscars, 3 of which he won in one night. He won for The Godfather Part 2, Apocalypse Now. These are considered the greatest films of all time. So he really can do what he wants. He's made a name for himself in old Hollywood. He is just a legendary director and filmmaker. Megalopolis is a movie he's wanted to make for so long, and I remember in 2020 hearing about this project. It was kind of coming back. I think it had been rumored to start up in the 80s, and in 2000 he was going to make it, but never ended up happening. He was able to get money to make this project now. He cast Adam Driver, Natalie Emmanuel, Giancarlo Esposito, Jon Voight, Jason Schwartzman, Talia Shire. A lot of people are in this film. It is a very big cast. It's a very great, anticipation towards it. When the trailer came out, it was very vague, and that's usually a very red flag for me. If you see a movie with a trailer that doesn't really tell you anything about the plot, you're kind of going, what is it going to be about? And really, I have no idea what Megalopolis is about. I kind of can tell you it is about dreaming. It is about having a vision for the future. It's about trying to create something you believe in. But really, as a movie, it is just all over the place. It, I guess, is, you could say, a movie for dreamers, but it's really just not that entertaining. There's so many better movies. La La Land, for example, you could say is about something similar, but I enjoyed that more. With Megalopolis, though, the pacing is just really bad. This is one of the key things here. It's a movie that no one has really heard of and no one cares about because it doesn't really have an accessible genre. I think that's problem number one. Problem number one is people can't really latch onto it because this isn't a world that is like familiar. It's kind of like Romeo and Juliet from 1996 with Leo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. It has this modernized Shakespeare quality to it where the characters speak almost like in Shakespearean. I thought they were going to do that for most of the movie, but then they kind of have this weird futuristic Roman / New York City architecture. The thing is, I feel like he fully didn't commit. It's mostly New York City, but if people started dressing up in Roman cosplay, it feels kind of not too they committed to the act. I kind of did like the beginning. There was a bit of, he had confidence at the beginning, Francis Ford Coppola, where he's introducing us to this world, and I kind of liked it, and I thought they're really going for it. There's a scene at the beginning where you meet Natalie Emmanuel at the club, and then they have a line, go back to the club, and you just get a little bit of this world, and you see Adam Driver is working with the design authority. They are blowing up buildings, and they do it in this cool slow motion way, which really reminded me of Tenet. Maybe that's why I liked it, but the way he did it, Francis Ford Coppola, it was very unique, and it was very cool to see how they kind of did that scene and just the confidence in which they kind of portrayed this world. But it just started going downhill from there. I really did like a lot of the shots, the way he moves the camera, the way he kind of keeps a shot going for a while without cutting. But the movie itself just really isn't that great. It just really kind of gets too full of itself. I really did like Shia LaBeouf. He saved the movie, and I wish there was more conflict. It feels like most of the conflict here kind of happens off screen, or if there is a big conflict, then they lead up to it, nothing really happens. The whole movie, Shia LaBeouf is kind of it seems like he wants to lead a rebellion against Adam Driver's character, but there really isn't any big conflict or any final battle where you feel this is them coming to a head. No, it's really just kind of slow and quiet, and honestly pretty disappointing in that department. But I really did wish that Chloe Fineman was in it more. I didn't know why she was there. I kind of wish she teamed up with Shia LaBeouf. I think that would have added another interesting dynamic, because they both kind of liked Adam Driver's character, or Shia LaBeouf was jealous of Natalie Emmanuel. I just feel like there was more that could have been done. I wish that Chloe Fineman and Shia LaBeouf decided, hey, let's team up and take him down. Or it just feels like the conflict kind of was it would come up and then boil away and then come up later. It just really didn't have anything that really grabbed me. And why was there this subplot with the singer Vespa, the Grace Vander, or however you say her name, Vanderbilt character? I didn't get that. I mean, they try to add this controversy to Caesar Catalina, he slept with her or whatever, but it really doesn't even matter. Then they say something oh, she's 16 then they like disprove that, but it's like no one even knew who she was. She wasn't even important in the plot, so like what's the point of that? It just adds this layer of nonsense which isn't even needed. It's like the closest thing to conflict, and the movie really needs more conflict. I really also want to talk about how the city was utilized. This is a big issue. The stuff with Megalopolis. The movie's called Megalopolis, but we really never get to see this city that Adam Driver wants to build. The whole point is he wants to build this amazing city. We never get it. They have a scene at the end where Giancarlo Esposito and Catherine Hunter are like, let's like fall in love, and they like go off on some like magic carpet to the city, which is in the background as some like CG wall. And I was just thinking, like, that's it? If you're gonna like make the story, have it take place in the world, have the movie be about, I heard this movie was gonna be about the destruction of a city too. You don't even see that. That's completely like off screen. It's crazy. They kill Dustin Hoffman's character, who's also barely in this, like, and then they just like show it in a minute. They're like, oh, by the way, he died. They show his death, and it's like, anyway, like, it just feels like the movie's all over the place. The movie starts, and it feels like there's a scene that like should be halfway through the movie where like about 10 minutes in, the characters are having this whole debate about the city and the status of it, and Adam Driver says something like I want to change the city, and they're like, you killed your wife, and we're all just like, whoa, what? Like, I don't know what's going on. They just kind of, it's like you started a movie halfway through. It's only 10 minutes in. I just think a huge problem is we never got to see Megalopolis. Them not showing the city, or the people living in this city or getting to live in it eventually, is one of the biggest flaws. Probably the biggest. At least show that. The CG is just unacceptable. It's like Marvel using their CG as an anchor for the story. I mean, look at Apocalypse Now. It's so engaging and tense and funny and visually stunning, and this is nothing like that. It doesn't have the visuals. It doesn't have the plot or great characters or interesting dynamics between them. None of that. This is just all these ideas that Francis Ford Coppola's cobbling together, and they don't fit. And you can tell it's super weird and personal. It's like a really slow Chris Nolan film, or if you had all the bad parts of a Chris Nolan movie in one film. This just really is not something that I enjoyed. I wish I did like it. I wish that I could say this vision is like spectacular. It feels like a really bad indie movie, a really expensive indie movie. I mean, maybe if we look at it like that, it could be viewed better, but I was just bored by it. And I think the acting at some parts is really just hard to believe. Like Adam Driver and Natalie Emmanuel, their romance, and this is like the key part to the movie, just isn't believable. The mayor, Giancarlo Esposito, his character, it doesn't feel like there's any need for him. He doesn't feel like he's pushing anything forward. There's supposed to be this rivalry between him and Adam Driver, but I never like really feel like there's tension or like they're butting heads. Shia LaBeouf is supposed to be this big threat. He's supposed to be trying to like assassinate his cousin, I thought, because they're doing the whole Caesar thing. That never even comes up. He's just kind of there to like put up a video of him like having sex with a singer. Like, it just feels so like you have this very interesting concept. You didn't commit to any of the parts of it that would be interesting. Show the city, show them building it, show it being destroyed, show the tragedy of that destruction and how they kind of rise from it. You never see any of that. It's really just like several scenes set in and around it. You have this general plot of them discussing building the city, but just the idea of it is just not enough. And also Adam Driver has this power where he can like stop time, which also isn't even utilized. Like, I get that maybe he was just trying to make a low-key movie. Maybe he didn't care what people thought. I just think there's a lot of ways to utilize this. Like, look at Christopher Nolan, how he makes movies. I wish Francis Ford Coppola honestly made a film. I feel like if Christopher Nolan had his hands on this, he might be able to make it more interesting. Yeah, he might make it more of a thriller, but there's just a difference in how they approach these types of projects. I feel like this is definitely a personal project. It 100% is. Just isn't really that entertaining. And when you go to the movies, you want to be entertained. So that's my take. We did a rant, Jen and I, after seeing the movie. We were driving back, and I'm going to play that for you guys. This is recorded after we left the IMAX screening, the IMAX Thursday 8 o'clock screening, and we were just driving home. We were really just shitting on the movie, so I'm going to play that for you guys now. Thank you guys so much for listening to the review. Stay for the rant. It's quite good. Or quite, we dig into the film a bit. So thank you guys again for watching, and see you guys soon.
Bro!
Okay, we just saw Megalopolis in IMAX. This is Francis Ford Coppola's new movie. It's been anticipated for a long time. And I was pretty divided on it, to be honest. Jenna, what did you think?
Okay, I'll start off with the pros. The pros was it was my first IMAX movie. I love the big screen. I think our seats at the theater are perfect. Like, I am glad I did get to see this in the theater. Okay, now on to the cons. The whole movie was just... I've never been in a movie where I'm just like, oh my gosh, is it over yet? Is it over yet? It was a waste of time. It was an absolute waste of time. The movie started at 8. I checked my phone, it's 8:38, and I go, there's no way it is only 8:38. And I constantly kept checking the time. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And we walk out of it, and Andrew's like, yeah, like, what was that even about? And I'm like, yeah, what the... Francis Coppola, what, like, dude, what were you trying to get out of that? Like, I genuinely am curious, like, I really, okay, and I didn't go into this wanting to hate it either. I was so hyped for this movie. Me and Andrew got tickets, like, last week for this. Like, it just came out today, right?
This is the Thursday night premiere.
Yeah,
and it's
like,
an IMAX.
I was hyped. I've been hyping it up. I was so hyped for this. And even throughout the movie, I was just trying to, like, understand it, because I'm like, well, maybe there's not something I'm getting, like, maybe there's more to it. No, that was a waste of my fucking time. And then also, it's the fact that I just had deja vu. Like, you're bringing old Rome into a futuristic New York City. I'm sorry, but what? Like, I don't know. You missed on this one. You just missed on this idea. And, like, sometimes I see a flop movie and I'm able to be like, yeah, like, no, this could have been something. This couldn't have been anything. This was, like, an idea that just stays in your journal. Like, don't bring this shit into production. Like, keep it in your little journal. It's a good idea to, like, bring up to buddies, but don't fucking put this shit into production, okay? Also, who is the main guy? Adam Driver. In the beginning, I was like, oh my god, he's ugly as fuck. But then throughout the movie, I was kind of like, after he was, like, really drugged up, I was kind of like, oh, he's kind of attractive. So, but that's, if there's anything that movie showed me in a positive note, is that Adam Driver is not as ugly as I thought he was.
Well, I think he was a very, like, I don't know, the whole cast...
No, but even, he's not even that fucking hot where everyone's like, oh my god, like, all, like, he's supposed to be this really hot fucking rich, like, socialite, like, Nobel Peace Prize winning, like, fucker, and he's not even that fucking hot. I think they should have gotten someone that's so fucking, like, you know, like, conventionally attractive. Yeah, he's just fucking weird. He has a weird fucking face.
Theo James. Nah.
Theo James! Someone, like, a charm like that.
Yeah.
A conventionally attractive male species.
Adam Driver is
that screams New York City socialite. He does not.
That's true. He gives the old...
Someone like Robert Pattinson in Batman, that vibe. You know what I mean?
Well, in Batman, he's kind of a gothic loner.
Well, no, yeah, like, but he's, like, hot, you know? Like, he gives off that hot vibe.
I was thinking more Neil and Tenet. I don't think you've seen Tenet. But that kind of charm. And like the Bond.
Anyway, and I don't mean to curse a lot. It's just, I feel like that was a waste of my time.
I guess Megalopolis warrants swear.
I feel like that was a waste of my time. I'm sorry, Francis Coppola. That was my first movie I saw by him, too. I'd never seen Godfather.
Or Apocalypse Now?
No.
Or Godfather Part 2?
Honestly, it's gonna take me a little while to want to see any other movie by you. Even though, like, I know Godfather is really great. But I did hear Godfather 3 was not the best. But, yeah, Francis Coppola, this one should have stayed in the diary. That's what I gotta say.
And what do you feel about the Roman Empire, the portrayal of that in this film?
I mean, basic shit, but Colosseum, like, wow, so original. But, oh, there's a twist! Futuristic! Like, what the fuck? It was more like a fucking circus, if you think about it. They turned, like, the old Roman historical Colosseum history into this futuristic circus shit. Like, what? And watching it also, I was just like, I can tell that he wanted to put this into production, like, way back in, like, 2000. You know what I mean? Because it feels like an outdated movie.
It's been floating around for some time, and there's no audience for it. Like, we've been asking I've definitely been asking people like, oh, I'm going to see the new Megalopolis. Like, are you going to see that? And everyone's like, oh, what's that? And it's like, yeah. There's no audience for that. It's pretty much like a movie just for the director. He kind of just made it. He financed the movie himself. He put $120 million into the movie, put up a portion of his own winery to do that, and he pretty much just made that film because he knew.
He knew what? He knew what? He likes the Roman Empire because he's a male. That's why. Like.
Whoa. No, but seriously, he does have an.
But like, let's try to break it down. Like, in what ways could that have been better? Like, I'm trying to think. I don't fucking know, because what the fucking movie about? What is it? I'm sorry. This is why I didn't want to do it tonight.
I was trying to think about the pros of it.
Yeah, the only pros that I said in the beginning, I
like Shia LaBeouf.
I was trying to be... Fuck Shia LaBeouf.
Well, I thought he was good in it.
No, oh yeah, he was good. Yeah,
fuck him as a person, is that what you're saying?
No, I don't feel like I know him enough. His character annoyed me.
But...
That's why I'm saying fuck Shia. So he's really fucking good.
Yeah, I thought
like, fuck his characters.
Claudio,
yeah, fuck Claudio. Oh, the grandpa is an OG though. Like, he's great.
John Voight? Yeah, the guy, Crassus, the bank guy.
Yeah. Also, why the fuck is the driver for what's the
Caesar?
For Caesar, like, doing the voiceover? It's so fucking weird.
I was gonna say, it was such a throwback thing where and I was even thinking this at the beginning, Lawrence Fishburne, first of all, worked with the director on Apocalypse Now. He was, yeah. Yeah, no, Morpheus. But he also was in Apocalypse Now. He was 16 years old, and the director brought him on. He didn't know. He was like, yeah, I don't think it was legal.
Oh, this is hurting my head. Yeah. What's this movie like? Then I think like the only thing that I get out of it is maybe the like this day and age like political like back and forth of two people kinda. But that's the only thing that I'm getting out of it because.
It wasn't entertaining.
What?
It wasn't entertaining.
It wasn't entertaining at all. I was bored as fuck waiting for it to be over.
It was kind of like a soap opera. It was really just about a family, and if anything,
it was all over the fucking place. They'd bring something in, and then they'd bring something else in, and then like later on they'd go back to that, and I'm like, holy fuck, I forgot about that shit.
Whereas like the trailer was pretty vague. Like they didn't give you a sense of what was going on. It looked interesting, but that kind of just tells you like the movie's not gonna have a good plot.
I've said everything I have to say about it. So if you have any other questions.
Did you ever see the movie Tomorrowland? The Disney movie?
Oh, with the characters? The blue people?
Wait, Avatar?
No, like they have powers, right? And they're trying to find their dad.
Oh, are you talking about
Onward?
Onward? Yeah, with Chris Pratt and Tom
Holland.
No, I'm talking about Tomorrowland. This movie's like Tomorrowland in that it's so like
even the futuristic cool shit though, that's not even cool. It's so like in 2000 we think that shit is cool. It's 2020 fucking 4. That shit isn't futuristic. Like I don't think ooh and ah that's really fucking cool. Like how old is Francis Coppola anyway?
I think he's like 85.
Yeah, that makes fucking sense.
Yeah, he wanted to make a plant universe or something.
A plant, like, nah,
it's not even about that. It's about wanting to
It doesn't give futuristic vibes, though.
My issue with it, though, is you never get to really see that. And that shouldn't be the
point, even if
but it is just not entertaining.
And I get that, like, super, like, powers and stuff. The CGI is shitty as fuck, so it looks just
like Spy
lame.
Kids.
Yeah.
And hey, Spy Kids was better. Spy Kids, it fit the tone. This movie's trying to be all serious. And
yeah.
They have these shots of, like... And also, Natalie... oh my god, I just butchered her name. Natalie Emmanuel, the girl who plays Julia Cicero. I like her, but the way she has to deliver lines, she just says it and it sounds so corny. In
some, like, scenes, it's like really fucking bad and weird.
Do you remember when she's like, I'm entitled?
But
I'm entitled? It felt so just, like...
But in other scenes, it's like...
Not natural.
It's like, okay, that's decent, that's kind of good, and I can get with it. But then there's other scenes that are like, what the fuck? I don't know, I'm done. I'm done. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that movie really pissed you off.
Yeah.
It to me was really just like a movie.
Megalopolis, more like Megaflopolis.
Yeah.
We can't post this anywhere. Also, it didn't help that at the end, or halfway through, Andrew's chewing his fucking gum and chomping on that shit. It was so annoying. So that added to my aggravation.
Well, to be honest, the movie required some concentration.
No, you just don't know how to chew gum properly.
Yeah.
Okay, now Andrew will say what he wants to say since, yeah. Okay, go.
Yeah, I get what Francis Ford Coppola is trying to do, though. It's just he does it in such a boring way. Like, the visual style to me was the big appeal. If you're gonna make a movie like this, though, you need these big, interesting set pieces. It also does feel, though, like we're missing pieces of the story going into it. Like, it opens with this big debate, and they're talking about all these things, like something Adam Driver's invented, Megalon, right? Which, first of all, sounds like a Transformers plot device. And then there's just these constant discussions about his wife and all this stuff, but it just feels like we're kind of just, like, thrown into it. And I guess we really don't need to keep knowing about all this, like, or see too much backstory. I like that they just get into the plot, but the plot isn't just that good. It's just really these kind of soapy stories about this couple, about Julius Cicero, played by Natalie Emanuel, and Adam Driver's Caesar, and they're just not that interesting. They're characters. It just wasn't that fun to watch. And I feel like the promised thing with Megalopolis, like I was saying with Tomorrowland, is it just isn't that cool. You don't get that much action with the city. It would have been cooler if they had this part where they actually built the city, and then Shia LaBeouf's character actually, like, destroyed that.
The only cool part was, like, the drug scene.
Well, there was barely, and that was cool visually, but, like, the plot, nothing interesting ever happens.
Nothing plot-wise. I just thought
all
that
the cool
was...
stuff's cut out, too. Like, they cut when the city gets destroyed. They cut when there's this big conflict at the end. But
you know what?
I feel like they could show just something.
I don't think they could. I don't think you can do it. How do you show something coming down and destroying the buildings in New York City in a graceful way, though?
There are a lot of disaster movies that have done that recently.
I feel like it's hard to fuck that up. I mean, it's easy to fuck that up, though.
But if he had a vision where the city was more Romish and not just like this New York with some, like, you know, people dressed in Caesar
or if
cosplay.
he made it not seem like it was fucking, like, it looked like multiple things coming down. If it was a clear, like, satellite thing coming down and making a big explosion, then that could have been...
how a satellite caused that to happen.
His vision was too much, like, past historical events, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
It really just wasn't that entertaining.
Okay. Yeah, you haven't... Is that all you have to say?
Yeah, it really wasn't that good.
So, guys, maybe you went into listening to this, and you were like, what is Megalopolis? And you didn't even know, so I'm sorry that we had to inform you about what it was, but now you know, and now you know to stay away from it. Francis Coppola, I think this is a really good learning experience for you to maybe run ideas by some more people. Maybe some more people who will give you the hard truth.
He probably did. He probably just didn't listen. He probably ran into some.
Francis Coppola, don't be on your high horse, okay?
He gave his movie 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Who?
The director of his own movie.
Oh, fuck you, Fran. Fuck you! Fuck the... No, end this right now. Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. No. You're a good guy.
He's one of the greatest filmmakers of all time.
No, we're not saying that. We're not making him feel even more confident, okay? You're not as great as you fucking think you think. 5 fucking stars? Yeah, okay. How can you be into film and be one of the greatest of all time and give this fucking movie a 5 stars? That's only because it's your own fucking movie. You know, deep down inside, when you tuck yourself into bed and you go in there and you get all cuddly and you're closing your eyes, you know deep down, Francis Coppola, that movie is not a 5-star fucking movie. Give it what it is. I really wanted to end up peacefully, but fuck. End this shit. Bye. Don't see this movie. I didn't want to do this tonight. I'm too pissed off. That was so mean. End it.
Nicolas Cage should have been in this movie.
What? Stop saying shit to get me riled up.